We are moving on to our next system, the skeletal system. We will start by talking about bone and bone structure before moving on to the bones of the axial and appendicular skeleton. There are 5 functions to the skeletal system. These are support, storage of minerals, blood cell production, protection, and movement. Bones are classified based on shape. There are 6 different shapes. The first are the long bones. These bones are relatively long and slender, so they are greater in length than in width. Examples of long bones include those found in your arm, forearm, thigh, leg, fingers, and toes. Short bones are cube-like. They have a greater width than length. Examples include those found in the wrist and ankles. Flat bones are thin and flat, just like the name suggests. Examples include the sternum, skull bones, and ribs. Irregular bones have very complex shapes. Examples include the vertebrae, the sphenoid bone, and the hip bone. Sesamoid bones are sesame seed-shaped bones and include the patella. Lastly, sutural bones are small, flat, and irregularly shaped bones located between the flat bones of the skull. Let's look at the structure of a long bone. You can see there are many parts associated with this bone. We are looking at the femur, which is your thigh bone. The ends of the long bone is known as the epiphysis. The center portion of the long bone is the diaphysis. The periosteum is a fibrous and cellular layer that surrounds the entire bone. The periosteum provides some important functions. The first is protection. Secondly, it is for growth and repair of the bone. And lastly, it provides a route for blood vessel entry. Just beneath the periosteum is compact bone. The end ostium is what lines the marrow or medullary cavity. It consists of connective tissue and cells, and it's also for growth and repair of the bone. The marrow cavity or medullary cavity is the space inside the long bone, and it contains yellow marrow, which is adipose tissue. The ends of the long bone are filled with spongy bone, which is also known as cancellous bone and trabecular bone. This bone is very porous and contains red bone marrow where our blood cells are made. The epiphyseal line starts as cartilage and ends as bone. This portion of the long bone is important for bone growth, and we'll talk more about this process a little later. Lastly, the articular cartilage is hyaline cartilage and is located at the end of the long bone where the joint is formed with another bone. This hyaline cartilage consists of nice, smooth, slick surface, which is necessary for smooth movement between joints. Now, let's look at the anatomy of a flat or irregular bone. The structure of these bones is a little simpler. Think of it like a spongy bone sandwich. In this spongy bone sandwich, you have spongy bone in the middle where you might put your peanut butter and jelly, and then you have compact bone on either side, which represents the bread. Now, we will move on to looking at the microscopic structure of bone. It's important to understand that the basic functional unit of mature compact bone is called the osteon. It's also known as a Haversian system. The osteon refers to the arrangements of osteocytes in lacunae. We learned about lacunae when we talked about cartilage earlier. The arrangements of osteocytes in lacunae are in concentric rings. In the middle is the central canal or Haversian canal. This canal contains blood vessels and nerves that support the compact bone. The osteocytes are housed in a lacuna and embedded in hard matrix rings known as lamellae. Within the lamellae are small passageways called canuliculi, which means little canals. These canuliculi link the osteocytes in the lacuna to the central canal. This allows the osteocytes to get oxygen and nutrients from the blood and have carbon dioxide removed. Let's look at the composition of bone, remembering that bone is classified as a connective tissue, which means that there are very few cells, yet we have a lot of ground substance. The cells of the bone only make up about 2% of bone tissue and are very far apart. There are 4 different cell types that are found in bone. The osteocyte is a mature bone cell that maintains the bone matrix. As the osteocyte produces bone matrix, it gets trapped and forms the lacuna. The osteoblasts are immature bone cells that secrete the organic components of the bone matrix. Essentially, they are bone builders. An easy way to remember this is the B in blast goes with the B in builders. The osteoblasts build new bone. The osteoprogenitor cells are stem cells in the bone whose division produces osteoblasts. The osteoclasts are cells that chew bone. An easy way to remember this is the C in clast goes with the C in chew. They do this by secreting acids and enzymes that dissolve the bone matrix. The osteoclasts will chew bone and break it down, releasing minerals and proteins into the blood. Given bone is a connective tissue, there is very abundant matrix. This matrix consists of an inorganic component and an organic component. The inorganic component consists of the hydroxyapatite crystals, and these are crystals of calcium and phosphorus. They help to provide strength and hardness to the matrix. The organic component of the bone matrix consists of collagen. Collagen is a protein that provides flexibility to the bone matrix. So although your bones are hard, there is some flexibility which can reduce the chance of the bone breaking.